Hello and welcome back to Locator Gaming. I'm continuing on with my Kingdom Death Monster campaign. And I left off last time with being in the middle of the settlement event and having my resources and things that I needed to decide what to do with and which innovation to take. So I think I'll start with the innovation. I guess I'm going to go with Inner Lantern so I can get Surge as a survival action. So drums will go back into the innovation deck, and we're not going to need that again until next time, but actually I will need to add the language consequences to that before next time. So I mean there was one nice one for that was a consequence I think for drums that I thought looked kind of cool, but I'm going to go with Inner Lantern so I can have Surge as another survival action. I've got laid out here what I've decided to get. I'm going to spend the Lion Claw and a Great Cat Bones on the King's Spear. So I will add those back to here. And I have a Cat Eye in storage from the prologue. So I'm going to spend that on a Cat Eye Circlet. I could probably come down in here. I'll spend that on the Cat Eye Circlet. I think I'm going to get some Stone Noses to add a survival and an insanity upon arrival. So I'm going to spend an endeavor on that. I'm going to get a Bone Axe with this Great Cat Bone and the Monster Organ. And I have a Perfect Organ in storage, I think is what it is. Yeah, I've got a Perfect Organ in storage. So with that Perfect Organ and this Monster Organ, I'm going to get a Monster Grease. And then with these three different types of hide, so I've got a Monster Hide, a White Fur, and the Crab Spider is a vermin, but it counts as a hide. I'm going to get these three pieces of another towards another rawhide set. So that's what I'm going to spend my resources on. The other thing I guess I'm going to do with my remaining endeavors here is probably just Augury. So you can see Augury there. I don't have any resources to lose, so 1 through 3 is not going to do anything for me. 4 through 7 I'm going to gain a survival, and then on 8+ I can do intimacy. So I'm going to have, so all of the returning survivors that I currently have are going to die because they all got infected during that plague event. But to the level where they could get treated, but I don't have ammonia, so I can't do the treatment. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go out this year with Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and I'm going to take Helen, who's Jerry's mom from the show. And I'm going to try to get some survival here and or intimacy. If I can get at least 1 kid from the intimacy, that'll trigger my 15 population, because right now I have 14 because these people aren't dead yet. There's some kind of fly or gnat or something. So I think I'm gonna go with Helen as my tank for the next one. So I'm gonna try to get some survival on her. Actually, no, wait. She'll get some survival if she's the tank from her rawhide gloves and rawhide boots. So she'll be full up. There'll be 1 on that. I guess since I'm going to have Surge, let's try to get some survival on Jerry. Jerry's got 3 strength, 2 insanity. Yeah, let's try to get some survival on Jerry. So Jerry's going to roll with this first endeavor on Augury. 5, he's going to gain a survival. And I think I'll just roll with Jerry again. We got a 1, so that's nothing because we don't have a resource to lose in the settlement. Okay. I actually think that's everything for the settlement phase. I just need to make the gear grids and, you know, set up the departing survivors. Maybe set up the hunt board. I'm hunting another white lion. So yeah, I think I'll throw in a cut and set up the hunt and then show you what I decided to do with the gear grids. Okay, so I came back to talk about a couple of things. I noticed, because I was about to clean up the Costanza family from dying, and I'm gonna pick my death principle upon their death. But I noticed that Susan did not use her reroll. I think that she just got the regular one where she was infected. I didn't want to re-roll because I didn't want to get the one where I would put it on the timeline the next year for her. But I'm going to use her re-roll to re-roll that augury that Jerry did, the second one. And I got a 6. So that's another survival for Jerry. Okay, so just wanted to note that and then talk about the death principle. Because I have... there was something that I was thinking of. I'm going to take Cannibalize for my death principle. I'm going to have 4 deaths. And, you know, so you have the death milestone thing says as soon as you... the first time a death count is updated. So I have 4 deaths, right? So I have the first one, so I update the death count, right? So that's 1. So then should I then pick my principle? Because I think it kind of matters, because this death principle here, Cannibalize, is whenever a survivor dies, draw 1 basic resource and add it to the settlement storage. Do not gain a resource if the survivor is lost, ceases to exist, or is exiled. So do I get 3 more do I get 3 resources here because I have 3 more deaths after that first one? I think I do. So I'm going to draw them. Now, I mean, that would be my reading of how I should do that. I guess that's not very, like, rule of death reading of the rules, right? So I kind of put those 3 that I got. So here's the other question, and maybe someone can put this in the comments or something. Should I draw 1, record it, put it back in the deck, draw 1, record it, put it back in the deck, and draw 1, record it, put it back in the deck? And I think these guys were supposed to die at the end of the settlement phase, so I don't think I can, like, go back and start using them, like if I get a love juice or love potion or whatever. So I'm just going to draw 3, not do the put back, draw, put back thing, and just record them. So we'll go about you. Love juice, okay. Monster bone and monster hide. All right, so I will record those, and I will record the death principle. I will up my survival limit and then get into the gear grids and set up for the hunt, and then be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got the gear grids, I think, the way that I want them, and I've got the hunt board out here. Just shuffle the white lion ones. I'm not going to put the basic ones out again, but I will set up, at least to overwhelming darkness, the where the white lion ones are supposed to go. So how about you, you, and you? Okay, and we'll leave those up there just in case. So Elaine is going to go out with rawhide headband, bone axe, cloth on the waist, and then the rawhide gloves and the rawhide vest. So she's getting 1 evasion, 1 survival upon departure. It's got the bone axe. She has 2 inherent strength. She got some strength from an event during the first year. Jerry's going out pretty naked, but he's got 3 inherent strength, so he's going to have the spear. So he can attack from 2 spaces away, and then he'll just have the cloth on his waist. I figured Maybe he needs less armor since he can stay another space away and try not to be the target as much as possible. Helen, who is Jerry's mom, is going to be our tank. So she's going out with the full rawhide set. So there's all the rawhide stuff. She's going to have stone noses. So on arrival, she can get that 4th point of survival. And then monster grease for an extra evasion. So with the monster grease and the affinities on the rawhide vest, she's going to get 2 extra evasion plus the 1 that she has inherently. So she's got 3 evasion. And then Kramer's going to be our cat eye circlet person. We'll have a founding stone and cloth, and that's basically everything that Kramer's got. His gear grid. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get going on the hunt phase. I don't want my tank to die, so I'm going to have Estelle go first here on this White Lion Hunt event. Scratching grounds. Claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage and rolls on the table. Sifting through the rubble, a shifting stone crushes the survivor's hands. The survivor suffers 1 event damage to the arms, or nothing happens. Or we could get a lion claw. If nobody investigates, then we got to roll on the hunt table. I think it's worth having at least 1 person investigate. Courage is nice. That would trigger Kramer's bold. So that might be worth doing, having that trigger his... I'll just do it with everybody. But it's just 1 event damage to the arms location, right? So I'm just going to go down the line. And actually, you know what I also wanted to do? It is winter time, and I've got some winter dice in here. So let's get some winter dice out. Let's see how this looks on camera. So this is Elaine. Of course, she rolls a 1. This is not worth using a reroll. So she's going to take an event damage to the arms. But she gets her courage. That's right. Everybody gets courage for doing this. And hopefully we minimize the damage. Okay, Jerry is a 4. Nothing happens other than his courage. This microphone seems like it's awfully high right now for some reason. There we go. Helen, Jerry's mom. A 7. Nothing happens. I've got a 20% chance of something happening. So not the best. Something good happening, I guess. And then Kramer. Ooh, Kramer gets a 9. Gain 1 Lion Claw White Lion resource. And I believe that's just going to come out of the deck. Like, we don't record it because then that'll... Is there only 1 in here? I thought there was 2. Oh no, there's like 3. All right. So we get that Lion Claw. What I really want is a sinew from this hunt of this white lion because I want to be able to make a bow. I really want a bow. Okay, Kramer's going to get that Lion Claw. And that's going to give him his 3rd courage. So we need to trigger bold. So let's get scratching grounds out of the way. And we will go to the book here. And look for story event bold. Now, I believe these are all different based on like when they trigger. Bone Witch, bold. In a single moment, your perspective changes profoundly. Select the triumph corresponding to the current game phase. We are in the hunt phase. Expect the unexpected. You're prepared to face any mind-bending trials at a moment's notice. Where others may falter, you forge ahead, meeting the journey head-on. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Prepared. When rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to your roll result. Prepared. And then we roll 1d10. A 4, gain +1 understanding. Hey, well, guess what? +1 understanding triggers insight. Ooh, now we have somebody with 3+ understanding. That would be sweet if we get that ammonia thing again. Insight. In a single moment, the curtain of the world pulls back. Select the epiphany corresponding to the current game phase. Same thing. Hunt phase. You dream before you, tolling silently, a strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability. Explore. When you roll on an investigate table, add +2 to your result. And now we roll again. We got a 7. Gain 3 survival and 3 insanity. Okay, so that's going to take Kramer to the limit of 4 on survival, and he will have 4 insanity. It makes sense that he is insane. The permanent accuracy or permanent evasion would have been nice. All right, there we go. Those are our first triggers of bold and insight from courage and understanding. But having a 3+ understanding is a good thing. Okay, Jerry's got a bunch of strength. We don't want him to die either on a random one, so we'll have him go next. No! Of all the ones from last time, the White Lion starts the showdown with ground fighting in play. Build its AI deck normally. We don't have to roll on a random or anything, so that's nice, except that we get that stupid ground fighting again. But now we at least have the King Spear. We can hit it from an extra space away and not have to worry about the thing, I think. So that's fine. Okay, let's have Elaine go for random. In this winter set, the dark one is, there's only one dark one, so I'm assuming the dark die is the ones. 19. 19 is exhalation of darkness. The survivors are enveloped in a steamy darkness that dims their lantern lights. They become separated from each other and hopelessly lost. If a survivor has the leader fighting art, they boldly stride into the clammy darkness and gather everyone. Otherwise, each survivor rolls a d10. The lowest scoring survivor or survivors, in case of ties, becomes a straggler. Each straggler rolls a d10. All right. So let's figure out who the straggler is. Elaine, 6. Jerry, a 4. So it's currently Jerry. Helen, a 9. And Kramer, a 2. So Kramer's our straggler. His thing doesn't help him as a straggler. It only helps him when he's investigating. So he has to roll on this chart a d10, a lantern 10. You're not sure how, but you leave the darkness with your hands full. Gain 1 random basic resource. All right. That ended up being not too shabby. Losing those 4 survivors, getting down to 10, we need quite a bit of love juice, I think, to get to the 15. Let's just take that one. It's a broken lantern. That's Kramer again. So Kramer's walking around with broken lantern and a lion's claw. Okay, and then we come to the lion. I'm going to take the hunt board down, and get everything set up to do the fight with the white lion. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I want to do a couple of setup things first. Just like last time, we need to get, so I've got ground fighting out again, so just as a reminder, if we do an action in that zone of death, we have to take a basic action with +2 speed and +1 damage targeting that survivor. So that's what I was saying with that reach 2. I think we try to attack from outside the zone of death and then and wound it to get rid of ground fighting. It's not going to do anything while this is in play other than just sit there and wait for someone to come up to it so we can play with it, I guess. All right, so these are the basic actions. I'm going to shuffle these for the AI deck. And we need 7 of these and 3 of the advanced. So that ground fighting gives it an extra health too. I can't believe we got that. Both of our first 2 fights outside of the prologue, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's those. Are we done with that deck? And then we need 3 of these advanced ones. We got a cat eye circlet and 2 rawhide headbands, so we have the opportunity to see into these decks fairly well. 1, 2, 3. Make sure those stay face down so I don't know what I got. Let me take these advanced ones and put them in here. Okay, shuffle this a little bit. And then we got to draw our 2 random terrain. We start with 1 tall grass. And then we get 2 of these randoms. I need to draw these before I finish setting up to kind of think about how I want to do it. There might be some stuff I want to get because I got like all kinds of time before the lion does anything because of ground fighting. At least that's how I understand how ground fighting works. We'll take that one and that one. And we got, ooh, a dead monster and 3 stone columns. So dead monster is interesting. It's kind of weird to have it with ground fighting. Actually, it's kind of nice too, because it'll block off part of the beginning zone of death. If dead monster is drawn during showdown setup, survivors may start the showdown anywhere on the showdown board. Survivors may go first. And we can look through it to find stuff. And we've got some stone columns. They're an obstacle and impassable. Destructible. When a survivor collides with this, stop their movement and archive the terrain. They suffer 1 damage to a random hit location. When a monster passes over this, archive the terrain. They have to be 4 spaces from all other terrain. Okay, so let me get this set up. Let me think about how I want to put it, and I'll be back when everything is set up and we're ready to start the fight. Okay, I think I'm set up and ready. The stone columns I really don't care that much about, so I guess maybe I could move them even further back and out of the way, but we'll see how that goes. The dead monster is right next to the white lion, and I've got Elaine, who's probably going to search the dead monster right away. Kramer will probably cat eye circlet. Jerry's got his spear, and he's in some tall grass over here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the other tall grass. 2 spaces away, who can reach, and he'll attack first. And then Helen here in the tall grass, and hopefully she'll probably rawhide headband to see if we can get the AI cards that we want on top to make her the target, because she's pretty beefy. So I do need to shuffle the hit location deck real quick here. And then I think I'm ready to go. We get to go first because Dead Monster is out on the board. I really like being able to set up wherever I want and going first. Okay, so let's just start. I think I will have, we'll just have Elaine go first and look at the Dead Monster. So we're either going to have, the train's going to go away on any of these results. It's just, do we find nothing? Do we find one random basic resource, or do we find a random resource from a monster deck of our choice? Oh, that's a 3. We find nothing. All right. So we'll get the Dead Monster terrain off of the board. All right, so now let's have Kramer go. He's here. He's going to Cat Eye Circlet. So we look at 3 monster hit location, the top 3. We got the Impervious Glorious Mane, and we've got 2 that don't have any reactions on them. One that's a persistent injury. So we'll put the Impervious one on the bottom, and you'll be able to see these as they come out. I'll do a little closer look. Okay, I think we're just going to have Jerry attack now with his King Spear. I don't really think Kramer needs to move from where he is. There's no reason to get any closer. There was no reason for Elaine to move, because that zone of death, because of ground fighting, is all those spaces right around there. All right, so let's just attack with Jerry. His King Spear is speed 2. 6+. He doesn't have any additional accuracy or anything. So we're looking for 6 pluses here. So we got 1 hit. It's the Beast's Heal. So there was no reaction on this one. Okay, so Jerry's got 3 of his own strength. The King Spear has 3 strength, so that's 6. Strength. The monster is 8 toughness. So we're looking at a 2+ to wound here. Hey, we got a Lantern 10. Critical. This is a persistent injury too. Your precise attack ruins the monster's straining tendon. The White Lion is knocked down. Persistent injury, ruptured tendon. When the White Lion starts its movement, roll a d10. A result of 1. The White Lion is knocked down. Okay, sweet. Let's keep that out. So ground fighting gets discarded. It's not gone, but it's discarded. Take the top of the AI deck as a wound. So the monster is knocked down, which means I would hit like on 3 pluses, right? But the only person who hasn't gone yet is Helen's mom, or Helen, Jerry's mom, Helen. But I really want to look at the AI deck. So I'm just going to Rawhide Headband. And then the monster's just going to get back up. So too bad that didn't happen like earlier. Do I have another die out here somewhere? I thought I did. Oh, here it is. So we'll Rawhide Headbands. I'm not going to move Jerry. And we'll look at the top 2 AI cards. So this is not good. They're both exactly. Oh wait, it's not an attack. It's size up. They're both size up, so it doesn't really matter. And it is the monster's turn, so we're just going to do that now. And that size up goes back on top. The monster would stand up. So it's going to random threat in field of view. Everyone is in its field of view. So we'll start with Kramer and go 1, 2, clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll re-roll 9s and 10s. 7, 8. So it's Estelle, it would turn to face a target. It already is facing the target. Roll a d10. It's a 1, nothing happens because it's on a 4+. Okay, so we know there are 2 size ups in the deck. All right, it's our turn again. I think I'm going to have Jerry go first. From there, actually, let's cat eye circle. Well, we know what the next 2 are, right? They're not that bad, so we won't cat eye circle it yet. So we're going to have Jerry go first. It's 6+ still, and he's fine with his reach of 2. That's 2 hits. So we did get the 2 that we knew that were there. So we'll just do this one first before the impervious location. And he's again on a 2+ because its toughness is 8 and he's got 6th strength. 6 strength. Thank goodness, because I rolled a 2. So that's that other size up now out of the AI deck. And now we have this impervious location, so the only thing we can get from this is if we lantern 10 and I rolled a 5, so nothing. Okay, so that's Jerry done. Now I want to cat eye circle it with Kramer to check the next 3 hit locations because we don't know what those are. Ooh, look at that. There's the trap we're going to have to keep trying to push down. This one has a reflex in it too. So I guess we put the trap at the bottom. Okay. Let's have... I don't think Kramer really needs to move. Let's have Elaine go. I wonder if I should surge with Jerry. Let's have Elaine go 1, 2 to there. She's got the bone axe, so she's attacking at a speed of 2, and in the blind spot would be 5+. We got a perfect hit and an 8. Does she have anything on a perfect hit? No. Okay, so that's the 2 hit locations that we know. So now we know that a trap is the next thing. I guess I'll do the failure one first because the second one is a reflex and it's just going to move in a straight line. So Estelle might be grabbed. It all depends on what happens with this first card here, though. So this one's got a failure reaction on it. So Elaine, she's got 2 strength. The bone axe has 3, so that's 5. The toughness is 8. So we're looking at a 3+ here. We got a 9. We don't have any luck. Too bad, because the bone axe would have done an additional wound if we critically hit. That's too bad. It's not a failure, though, so we can get rid of this. And that's a wound. What a difference having weapons makes, right? I wish there was a way we could not have to... Well, we could critically wound this, right? We just need a lantern 10, that's all. So I think we're looking at 3+ again with 5 strength and a toughness of 8. We got a 1, so we didn't even wound it. All right, so it's going to full move forward in a straight line. Any survivors passed over are going to suffer grab. She's probably gonna need to be encouraged to stand up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's gonna be here. And it's going to be here. She is knocked down. Target is knocked down in front of the monster, and target suffers 1 damage per monster level. And so we need a winter hit location die, don't we? I mean, we don't need it, but that is the waste on the winter die. That one's harder to see. I might go back to the black ones on the hit location because that's kind of harder to see. But that was a waste hit. She could dodge that, but I don't think we need to. It's just going to go down to 1 because she's not the attacker. Elaine was the attacker. It's not her turn, right? So, during another player's turn, I should be able to encourage, right? Even though they've already gone. I'm going to throw in a cut here real quick. I need to look something up in the book about when I can use encourage to stand her up. Be right back. I don't think I can because everybody else has already gone. And during a survivor's turn or during a monster flow or during another survivor's attack was like the times it said that you could use survival. So I don't think I could get Helen up. And everybody else is gone. So I think that's the end of our turn, which is kind of a bummer because I wanted to rawhide headband, but I can't. So we'll go to the lion's turn. Oh, great. Enraged mood. When this comes into play, draw an AI card. While enraged is in play, the lion gets +1 damage per monster level. If a survivor suffers dismembered or is killed, we discard enraged. So it's basically +1 damage. That is a card out of the AI deck, but I got to draw another one, right? When this comes into play, draw AI. Chomp. The first one is closest threat facing in range, then closest threat in field of view. No target sniff. Okay, so there's no threat facing because Helen is knocked down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a tie between Jerry and Elaine. Since Jerry's in the grass, I will target Jerry. Right? 1, 2, 3. So if we turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do this. 5. Like that. It's a speed of 1, 2+ accuracy, 1 damage after hit. Oh, this is Headhunter. If he has no jaw, but our persistent injury is ruptured tendon. Oh, wait. Ruptured tendon. We should move, or we should roll for that move before we do this. So this is when the white lion starts its movement, roll a d10. I don't know if that happens like on reflexes. It did say full move the monster in a straight line. Let's roll on this. No. One speed, 2+ accuracy. Okay, so Jerry has 1 evasion and he's in the grass. So that's +3 to the 2+. So it's a 5+ 1 speed. It's an 8, so that's a hit. It's 1 damage, and it's always going to hit the head. Jerry does not have any head armor. So we're definitely dodging that, right? And we don't have anything on Jerry to try to get survival back. So Jerry's down to 2 survival. Monster turn is over. Helen can stand back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what do we do here now? I think we have to start with Kramer because we want to move that trap down. So we cat eye circle it first. 1, 2, 3. Full move the monster forward in a straight line. Cancel all hits now out of range. Full move from a straight line. So those both have failures. We want the trap to be on the bottom. So we're going to go with Jerry first, just to get him out of the way. We'll go back to there, because he has reach 2 with his spear. It didn't say turn to face, it just said full move in a straight line forward. Okay, we are at a 6+, 2 speed with the spear. So 1 hit with the 6. So we get that first one. But Jerry's got all kinds of strength. He's got 3 from the spear, 3 from himself. So this is a 2+ to wound. It's a 7, so that's a wound. We don't have to worry about the failure here. So that's Jerry done. We're going to have Elaine move down to here into the blind spot. And we are at... You know what, actually, I don't want to go into the blind spot. I want to go to the side here because I am hoping for only 1 hit here. Yep, I'm really hoping for only 1 hit here. So we're on 6+ with a 2 speed on the bone axe. Yes, and I got 1 hit. So this one also has a failure reaction. And we've got 3 strength on the bone axe, 2 from Elaine, so that's 5. So we're looking for 3+ to wound. We got another 7. So we don't have to worry about the failure. And now we're going to stop attacking to avoid that trap. Let's have Helen back here. Rawhide Headband for the next 2 AI cards. We've got Revenge and Terrifying Roar. What is Terrifying Roar? All non-death survivors roll a d10 per target. If the result is 2+ and is higher than the target's courage, target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and knockback 6. Then perform the basic action, target the furthest survivor in range. I'm not loving that one. Then here we've got the last survivor to wound in range, who was Elaine. And closest threat in field of view. So this is speed 2, 2+. It'd actually be 3 damage because of enraged. After damage, the white lion isolates its prey. Full move the white lion away from all threats. Target suffers grab. So it wants to damage Elaine and run away with her. I do not like the knockback 6 on Terrifying Roar, so I think it's going to have to be Revenge. The question just is going to be now, and then that's going to be the last card in the AI deck before I have to shuffle the stuff that got discarded. Elaine is most likely going to get hit. Let's see, Helen with Founding Stone. No, the trap is the next hit location, right? I was thinking about maybe trying to get rid of the AI card. Because Helen can still move, and it's gonna isolate its prey, full move the White Lion away from all threats. It doesn't say straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, let's move up here, and then the White Lion's gonna go like this way. Or, I mean, it can go in a diagonal, right? Or does full move always mean in a straight line? Or does it just mean to the maximum of 6? I don't know. Okay, let's execute this. It's a 2-speed. Elaine has 2 evasion. She has 1 inherent and then 1 from her Rawhide Vest that's activated with its... because she was the last to wound. So that's why she's getting picked here by the monster. So it's 4+. So 2-speed, 4+. 3 damage is a lot. We got a 9 and a 4. But it's 4+. Oh man, why couldn't we have 1 more evasion? That's 2 hits. So we got to see where these hit. We'll be dodging one of them. Ooh, head and hands. Head and arms, I guess. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a severe injury either way. Because the head does not have a light, and the arms took that event damage during the hunt. I think we have to dodge the head. And then the arms is going to 3 damage because Enraged is in play. We got +1 damage, and this has 2 damage on its own. Is light, heavy, and then we got to roll on the severe table for the 3rd point of damage. On the arms. Seven, broken arm, an ear-shattering crunch. Suffer -1 permanent accuracy and -1 permanent strength. The injury is permanent and can be recorded twice. Gain 1 bleeding token. Okay, she's got 1 bleeding token. She has 1 broken arm. She gets -1 accuracy. She loses 1 of her strength. My injury is permanent. It can be recorded twice. It was not a dismembered arm, so Enraged does not go away, and she wasn't killed. Okay, but now we have to do this. The White Lion isolates its prey. Full move the White Lion away from all threats. Target suffers grab. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. I mean, I'm thinking the threats are this way, so it's going to move that direction. I don't know if it's supposed to be a straight line or not. I'm not sure. Then Elaine goes in front of the White Lion and is knocked down. She's not going to be getting up unless we encourage her to get up, because we're currently in the monster's turn. So, and she has to suffer 1 damage to... Target suffers 1 damage per monster level. Oh boy. That's another severe injury to the arms location. Oh no. Die of shock. All right, so reroll. Used. Eight. Spiral fracture. Your arm twists unnaturally. Gain -2 strength tokens. Skip the next hunt. Gain a bleeding token. Okay, so these are just tokens. It's not a permanent reduction of strength. So they're -2 strength tokens. And what else did it say? Skip the next hunt and gain a bleeding token. So she's at 2 bleeding tokens. I just got to make sure I note that. Skip the next hunt. Hopefully she makes it out of this. Again, no dismemberment, no death, so the enraged doesn't go away. I don't know if that grab, like target suffers 1 damage per monster level, that doesn't get a +1, right? Because of enraged. Okay, so revenge, that was a bad card. Now it's our turn. Kramer's going to go first. He's going to spend a survival to have Elaine stand up. So she's no longer knocked down. Using the encourage is how he's doing that. Oh, I keep forgetting about the beast's heal. I don't know if that's all movement though. If you know in the comments down below, can you let me know? Is that like just every single time the lion moves, or is it just like when it does, like here on the basic, if it just does this, like one of these kind of moves, or like on the AI card where it says move? That would be good to know. The other thing Kramer's going to do, he's going to cat eye circlet. So we're pushing that. What's it called? Trap down again. We've got a failure. The white lion jumps back without turning, move the monster 1 space directly away from the attacker. Then we got a wound result, which is just if you have 3 understanding, you can get a survival. So we'll put that one on top. Let's have Jerry go next. Maybe let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have Kramer get a little closer. He's just, I mean, do we chuck the founding stone? No, not until we get more weapons, I guess. Probably. It's nice to have at least an option, I guess. All right, Jerry. 1, 2, 3 with the spear, can just attack from here. It's 6+. That was an 8. And a 3 is 1. So this is the one that has the wound reaction on it. He doesn't have any tokens or anything, so we're fine there. 3 and 3 is 6, so this is a 2+ to wound. Oh, we got a lantern 10. Sweet. The force of the blow breaks the white lion's ribs, weakening it. The white lion gains -1 toughness token. All right. Okay, so that AI card that sucked is now gone. And he's going to get a -1 toughness token. I'll just take his toughness down to 7 on my die that I'm using to remind me real quick what his toughness is. Where are my toughness tokens? All right, so I think we're going to rawhide headband because I do not want that stupid ground fighting to come back out. Which means, let's have Elaine go first actually before we do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, bummer. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the sad thing with Elaine now, she's at -1 accuracy, and because of her 2 -1 strength tokens, is currently sitting on a -1 strength. The next hit location card, it was a wound reaction, and then a crap. Was it a failure reaction? No, I can't remember. I can't remember. But we're looking at 7 pluses now because of the -1 accuracy with the bone axe. Oh, great. Well, we got the trap. So the worst person to get the trap. Attacker is doomed. Perform basic action targeting the attacker. Oh, we only wanted 1. Our tank, I don't think, has been attacked once. Maybe once. So the basic action is 2 speed, 2+ accuracy, 1 damage. Elaine's going to be hurting, and she's doomed. She cannot spin survival. She's got 2 evasion. So we're looking at 4 pluses. Only 1 hit. With enrage, this is 2 damage though. And she can't dodge it because she's doomed to the body. So that's actually just her armor and a light hit, which is good. He would have turned to face, I believe, also. Okay, so let's get that trap there in the middle. Shove these in here. So now we're going to rawhide headband with Helen, who's the last person to go. Everyone else is already gone. At least now we don't have to play that like pushing the trap game down. It worked for 3 or 4 rounds. I just I just got kind of lucky on that roll to hit with Elaine there, even with the -1 accuracy. She probably wasn't going to hit though. Or, I mean, wound. With her cumulative -1 strength. Okay, the hit location deck is shuffled. We've got 4 AI cards left. One of these is the dumb ground fighting. And we're rawhide headbanding here. So we'll just say these 2, and then these 2 go down here. So we got Size Up and Chomp. Chomp is closest threat facing in range, which would be Elaine again, so we're just going to go with Size Up, which is the one that someone's going to get potentially a brain damage and get knocked down. So random threat in field of view is everybody. We'll start here and go clockwise. 10, we have to re-roll. 2, so that's Helen. Great, she's going to be knocked down. But we got to see, it's only on a 4+. Right? Yeah, that's a 4+. So Helen takes a brain damage. That's her 1 insanity. but she gets knocked down. Monster level, yeah. Brain damage per monster level and knockdown. Okay. Knocked down. All right, it is our turn. I'm gonna go with Elaine first, just to get her out from in front. So we'll go here. No, what am I thinking? Kramer's first with Cat Eye Circlet. So we can look at the hit location deck, right? 1, 2, 3. We got 2 failures and a wound. Snarling, the monster swats its attacker. Attacker suffers 1 brain damage. Perform basic action targeting the attacker. Monster roars triumphantly. So this one is kind of like Size Up, the failure here. And this failure is basic action. Jerry's really good at wounding and is not likely to fail. So I actually think we go like this. I'm going to put these ones with failure reactions on top because I'm hoping that Jerry can just get rid of them. The monster does have -1 toughness now also. Yes. Do I want Kramer to do anything else? I think I want Kramer to spend a survival to encourage Helen to stand up while it is still his turn. So she will stand up. And since I know it's not going to full move forward with Jerry's attack, let's go with Jerry. 2+ with his, 2 speed. I might as well go into the blind spot too, right? Yeah, so let's move over there. So now we're looking at 5 pluses. The toughness is when I wound, yeah. So 2 speed, 5 pluses. Okay, that's 2 hits. That's both of these failure reactions. Let's just do this one first. So Jerry's got 6 strength total between everything. The monster is at 7 toughness because of its token. So we're looking at just voiding with, oh, we got a Lantern 10. So critical wound. The blow wallops the white lion's head, causing shock waves of blinding pain. Persistent injury. Whenever the white lion draws an AI card, roll a d10. A result of 1 or 2, discard the card and end the monster's turn. Okay, I'm definitely not going to be forgetting that one. So that's a crit and a wound. So we've got 2 we haven't seen yet, and that Size Up card. We've got 4 more wounds we got to do. And like I was saying, we're just trying to avoid 1s here with Jerry, I think. There's a 3, so that's a wound. So it's not a failure. Critical on this one would have been, oh, blowing his jaw off. Oh, we did that one last time. Okay, so hopefully we're getting rid of that stupid ground fighting card. We've got 1 card we haven't seen yet there. The next card had that wound reaction where it would do a basic attack against the person. There's nothing I can do with Helen, I don't think, with the Rawhide Headband because there's just that 1 card there. Now I'm actually wondering if Rawhide Headband doesn't work if there's nothing in the draw deck. I don't know about that. Leave me a comment down below if you know. That would help to clarify that rule. If there's nothing in the draw deck, does Rawhide Headband even work? Or does it work how I did it, where I shuffled the deck to make a deck for me to draw off of? But what I'm wondering is, do I have Helen come and attack? She would hit on 7 pluses. So if Elaine wounds and she gets hit, like in the arms or the body again, she could be in a world of hurt. One, two, three, four, five, six. It's too far. We'll just have Elaine go. Bone Axe is 2 speed, 6 plus. We missed anyways. So what do we do with Estelle? If that is the mood, there would not be a critical wound on it. So throwing her Founding Stone doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If it's not the mood, I should still look at it though. Right? To see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I don't even know if there's anything I can do about getting Helen over there. I'm going to do the Rawhide Headband with Helen just to see what it is. It's Revenge. Last survivor to wound in range, which unfortunately is going to be Jerry. Closest threat in field of view. So this card really sucks. So let's have. See, so here's where that matters, right? Because this is what my situation is. This is in the discard pile, and I've got 1 card in the actual deck. If I'm supposed to be able to see the top 2 cards, and there aren't 2 cards, do I get to put Size Up on top? I don't know. I'm going to play it that I don't for now, until maybe that gets clarified. So Jerry's going to be the target, unless maybe she already acted, though. She got a ton of survival. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move, and then we're going to surge to attack with the Founding Stone and see if we can do some damage here. So let's see if we get our survival back. We do, so we don't have to spend our survival. Or we spent it, we don't have to erase it, I should say. If I want to try to be technically correct. Founding Stone is 2 speed, 7 plus. Really? Okay. So 2 hit locations. We want to do this wound one first because the second one is a failure reaction. Attacker suffers 1 brain damage, perform basic action targeting the attacker. That's fine. Although she's not going to be able to dodge because she's attacking. Okay, so anyway, its toughness is 7. We got 1 strength on the Founding Stone, so that takes it to 6, and she's got 1 inherent strength. So that takes it to 5 plus. That's 3 10s in a row. Critical wound. The White Lion's vision is impaired. The White Lion gains -1 accuracy token. Okay, so there's that crappy Revenge card gone. Now you've just got Size Up in the deck. -1 accuracy. We have kind of beat this thing up pretty good here. All right. Okay, I kind of like these winter dice. I shouldn't say that kind of stuff. We're looking at this one here now. Let me just roll and see if I got a cut. 4 in a row? 4 in a row. Critical wound. You strike the White Lion Stout Heart. Gain 1 random White Lion resource. Oh, roll a d10. If the result is a 10, the lion dies instantly. This is pretty close to what happened last time, except that what we're doing now is Size Up was face up, so it's gone. It has 1 hit point left with its basic action. Can I get 5 Lantern 10s in a row? No, I got a... Oh, you can't see it. I got a 4. Oops, it rolled, but it was a 4. It doesn't die instantly, but we get a random... we get a random White Lion resource. Did that flip over? Something flip over? No. How about a sinew here? Or at least we're thinning it out to try to get sinews at the end then. Lion Claw. We've got 2 of those. That's not Kramer. Who was that? That was Helen. Our tank just coming out of nowhere with a founding stone. Ripping in with 2 perfect hits and 2 crits. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jerry's mom, Helen Seinfeld, putting in some work. That's everybody. We did have to surge to get that done, but I think that was worth it. Okay, so closest survivor in field of view. It will pick Helen for 2 speed. It has -1 accuracy, so that is 3+. Helen has 3 evasion, so that's 6+. So 2 speed, 6+. That's 1 hit. Where is it going to hit? It's damage 1, but it's damage 2 because of the enraged mood. On the legs, we will just erase her 2 armor for now. And that is the lion done. It didn't move. And I don't think it's drawn an AI card. Maybe it has. Maybe I've been forgetting these persistent injuries. You really got to keep those things right up in your face. It's our turn. We're going to start with Kramer on Cat Eye Circlet, the hit location deck. It's not a good time for the trap to be on top. So we've got a wound, a nothing, and a failure. We'll put the nothing on top and the failure on the bottom, right? Yes. Now we're going to go with Jerry. He's going to move around to the back. The blind spot with his lion, with his king spear. 2 speed, 5+ from the blind spot, and he missed. Okay. We're going to surge and attack again with Jerry. He's down to 1 survival. 2 speed, 5+ from the blind spot. Are you kidding me? A 4 and a 2? It is 5+, right? Yes. Okay. That wasn't meant to be with Jerry. Elaine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She has a -1 accuracy, so she's at, that would be 7+, but blind spot makes it 6+ with the bone axe. 1 hit. This is a nothing reaction. But she is sitting at -1 strength. She gets 3 for the bone axe. -1 is 2. It's a toughness 7, so because it has a -1, so it's at a 7, so that's 5+ to wound. And we got a 5. So White Lion dead. Okay, so let me move this stuff because I want to draw my rewards. For White Lion, I put my elbows on the table to shuffle. It really shakes. 1, 2, 3, 4. No sinew. And 4 basic resources. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so got a tail, fur. We got some white fur. Maybe we can make something from the catatarium, piece of armor or something. A couple of monster bones, a question mark. We have a broken lantern, 2 lion claws. Okay, so I'm going to mark off the hunt XP. Elaine, Jerry, and Kramer are all going to age up. So let me clean up some stuff here real quick. Let's do the age up for Kramer, Jerry, and Elaine. And then I'll move on to the start of the settlement phase. Okay, so I'm going to do the age event for Elaine, Jerry, and Kramer. For the weapon proficiencies, I mean, Elaine's got an axe in her grid. She can't go out on the next hunt. But I think I'm just going to choose axe. And it's not like she has to stay with the axe forever. She's her strength isn't bad, but she's got that -1 accuracy, which kind of sucks. Jerry's going to go spear. And I think Kramer's going to go fist and tooth. I mean, he doesn't have to stay as the cat eye circlet person, but he doesn't have a whole bunch of like crazy other stuff. So I'm just going to choose fist and tooth, because you can choose fist and tooth. Yeah. Founding stone isn't, like, stone is not one of the things you can choose. Then we got to roll 2d10. So starting with Elaine, she got a 17. Whoa, gain 1 permanent accuracy. So that counteracts the -1 she got from her broken arm. So it's too bad she has to skip the next hunt. Okay. Oh, that would have been nice to get on Jerry. Man, these winter dice, they're kind of loaded. Jerry gets a 14. Gain 1 random fighting art. Was that all the fighting arts? Yep. Let's get a good one here. He's pretty good fighter with his 3 inherent strength. Extra sense. You may dodge 1 additional time per round. That would have been good for a tank to have. Let me see what Kramer rolls in case I need to put this back in the deck. Kramer gets a 16. Gain 1 permanent accuracy. Man, I wish those would have swapped. That's okay, actually, with the fist and tooth, right? Maybe he can start pumping up his fist and tooth weapon proficiency. Okay, I think that's it for age. There's a couple other things I still need to get out for the settlement event, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I'm back and ready for the settlement event. I've got my endeavors out over here. I need to update the timeline, so we're going to Lantern Year 3. There's nothing written on the timeline here, so we just need to do the random settlement event. So we'll shuffle these. And then I'll roll 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hunt reenactment. What is this? Hunt reenactment. Get those out of the way. Nominate the group's favorite survivor to play the hunter. Nominate your least favorite survivor to play the monster. Pick one monster from the settlement's list of defeated monsters. Some of the writing on these cards is so small. Costume claws draw real blood. On 1, 2, or 3, the hunter falls. The survivor nominated to be the hunter is dead. The survivor nominated to be the monster gains the monster claw style fighting art. Is the monster a nemesis monster? Yes or no? The monster falls, silencing the crowd with sickening crack. The survivor nominated to be the monster dies. The survivor nominated to be the hunter sets their insanity to 0. On an 8, 9, or 10, is the monster a quarry monster? Yes. Through the performance, the settlement relives a heroic moment of their survival. This settlement phase, all departing survivors gain survival up to the settlement's survival limit. Okay, so one of the two is going to die. Unless we get an 8, 9, or 10, I guess. So we have to nominate the group's favorite survivor to play the hunter. Nominate your least favorite survivor to play the monster. Pick one monster from the settlement. So the only thing that could be good for a survivor here is to get the monster claw style, but the hunter would die. I think I'm just going to pick 2 that haven't done anything yet. Let's pick... We'll pick Putty and Carol. Carol, I had to look this name up, but she's from the episodes where you gotta see the baby. The one where they have to go to, like, I think the Hamptons. You gotta see the baby. So Putty's our hunter and Carol is our monster. And I guess if somebody dies, they're going to use their reroll. It's an 8. An 8. Through the performance, the settlement relives a heroic moment. So all departing survivors gain survival up to the settlement survival limit. So that's actually good. Because is the monster a quarry monster? Yes, because it's a white lion. That's the only one we've defeated, so that's what I have to pick, right? Okay, so we're just going to leave with our maximum survival. Right? Good job, Carol and Putty. You don't get any courage or understanding or anything for being actors in our little reenactment play. So that's the timeline updated. We do not have anything to update in the death count, except that I just noticed that I had not finished filling in the death count boxes for the co-stanzas. This is what I got to work with. So I've got hide here. Let's see, separate the bones. I'm going to innovate. I really want to do intimacy with the love juice, I think. I want some more survivors because I'm sitting at 10 right now. These 3 right here were what I had in storage. I just took the cards out so I could have them visually displayed on the table. So I think I'm going to spin the lion testes, a monster bone, and a monster hide to innovate, and that's an endeavor. Oops, whoops. As I'll just throw the innovation deck everywhere. I feel like I want to always be innovating. Because we have the survival of the fittest, we have to take the lowest results when we do intimacy, which also is not great with our love juice item. And if we just augury. All right, I'm gonna pick you and you, second from the bottom. We got paint, which would give us dash. I wonder, did I not change the... Yeah, I didn't change the camera setup, so this one's a little more zoomed in, even on the card camera. We've got paint here. That'll give us dash. Where'd the other one go? And we've got scarification. I don't know why you would do this. Like, I think there are things that might need scarification. Like, you could get +1 permanent luck if you get lucky enough to roll the hands or the arms, but you might get -1 permanent movement. You might get the tough fighting art, destroy genitals, or blinded. Like, it is once per lifetime and you get a courage, but I think we're gonna go with dash from paint. So we have to add the language consequences into the innovation deck. So now I'll probably have to think about what I'm going to do with the rest of these resources. And if I'm going to do, it might depend on with Love Juice if I want to spend it as an organ. I don't know for sure yet. I might make some stuff from the Catatarium, like a piece of gear with these 2 white fur. I mean, I've got 2 lion claws here. I really wish I would have gotten a sinew, because I don't think there's any other bows that I can make other than that the bow that you get from the Catatarium. I can maybe make some bone darts with these bones, or maybe there's another thing that I can another location. Isn't there something? I could make the weapon crafter here on the bonesmith. It's gonna not play nice with the green screen, but 3 bone and a hide, I could make the weapon crafter. I could also make a bone club with 3 bone. That is something to consider. Okay, so like I said, I think I'm gonna stop here. I need to figure out what I want to do with my resources, and I'll just do the same thing I kind of did this time. I'll come back and we'll take care of the rest of the settlement phase, like doing any auguries that we're going to do, maybe spend the love juice on intimacy, and figure out what I want to make with the resources that I've got here. Okay, if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below. I would really help. That would really help me out. Plus, if there was any of those rules, questions that I brought up throughout the play down in the comments below, that would also help. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster and everything they put on the channel. I'll see you in the next one.